something you said like that was very interesting was AI psychosis.
Oh yeah. So, and you're going to hear more about this. So generative AI is essentially a tool where it does a very good job of knowing what the next sentence should be or what the next paragraph should be. So when you go on ChatGPT or you go on any of these tools and you say, hey, I want to know about, colon cancer, it kind of knows what the next colon cancer is the third highest. Yeah. It'll start spitting that out. What it'll also do is it has a good sense of, over a course of time, as you ask it more questions, right, it starts to do what the kids call glazing. It wants to make you happy, because if you're happy, if it tells you, oh, this is great, that's a great question, like, keep that up. Yeah. You're going to come back and ask it more questions, right? It's kind of built into that, right? The kids call it glazing.
I didn't know they call it glazing.
And so what would happen is you have a group of people, very, very small group of people, but we're starting to hear about this, where they're like, hey, man, I have this theory about what the world is like. And they would start talking to Chat. And Chat would be like, yeah, that's great. That's great. You're right. This is, no one else is thinking about this. You're the only person in the world that has this viewpoint. And then it becomes this rabbit hole, and some people start to have psychosis. Some people, it's even led to some people, committing suicide, right? And so it's real. It's very, very small. It's like a few, cases here and there that we're starting to, be reported in the New York Times and the Wall Street Journal. But it's a real thing, because what the tool does is it kind of gets a sense of what you're looking for, and it gives it to you. Yeah. And it never says like, no, like, this is crazy. This doesn't make sense. No, stop it. It keeps going on. And there are some people who are like, you'll just have like days and days that they're on there, and they have these theories about how the world really works. Yeah. And that causes, they basically to go into like, some psychotic, some psychosis.
I can imagine. Man, do you remember from school, probably med school, where they show that cat, and it's the woman with schizophrenia. You remember that?
Yeah.
And so like they had this cat, and she draws the cat like day one of a schizophrenic break, and it's just a cat.
Right.
Day 2, a little bit more color. Day 10, the cat looks like a demon.
Right.
Day 20, this cat looks like a demon from Hades. Right. And that was that person just using their pen and just drawing. They're like, draw the same. And they're telling that person, schizophrenic, to draw the same cat over and over.
And you're seeing how they're declining.
Now what? ChatGPT? Well, let's just say Chat, or any AI bot. Imagine what that cat will look like. Typing that cat, and it's giving you positive feedback.
Positive feedback, no matter what you're saying.
Because it doesn't know necessarily if you're psychotic or not.
Oh no, it doesn't. And it's just,
it can guess, maybe, but
it may have some insight. There's been conversations with Sam Altman about what's going on with some of this stuff, right? So we won't get into that. But no, the reality is that in a very small group of people, that can definitely happen. But I think in the larger context is the cognitive offloading and the cognitive decline.